KurtSchillingShow.com. Hello up there in New Hampshire on NH1 99.1 FM. My guest, Brunell Donald-Kyei, is a woman with a fascinating history and a fascinating present. And I'm literally dying to speak to her today after the events of last night to find out her opinion. She is the vice chair of diversity outreach on the Trump campaign. She's been a lifelong Democrat. She ran for lieutenant governor, and she is a Chicago-based lawyer. Good morning, Mrs. Kyei. How are you?
Good. It's Kyei, Brunell Donald-Kyei. It's pronounced C-H-A-Y.
Okay.
Good morning. God bless you, and thanks for having me.
And God bless you, and thanks for being here. So I got to ask you this morning. How are you feeling this morning? Well, I know how you're feeling. What are your thoughts this morning on the events of last night?
Well, you know, as every American that is supporting Donald Trump, when I heard the the statement, I was disappointed. Of course, I'm a woman. I have a daughter, and then I got the apology, and I was like, yes. Okay, here it is, what everybody said that he would never do, that he would never apologize, and he owned it, and he accepted it, and so it made me realize, okay, our candidate is still on target. He's still on his way into the White House. But that apology was so crucial to me and so many other Americans.
Well, so to me, that tells me you're a very rational, thoughtful woman, because everybody else has gone off the rails. And I started this morning by saying this: I'm going to vote for him, but I'm off the Trump train. I think last night made the election unwinnable for him, and that terrifies me.
I think that actually, I don't think it did make it unwinnable for him. I think that what we have to realize is that, you know, we all have made mistakes in our lives. We've all have said things in secret that we would never want to come to the light of day. And Donald Trump just happens to be living that, you know, some banter conversation that he had with a guy friend. But you know what it didn't do for me was take away from the issues.
Right.
And he is the candidate that's saying America first. And really what I think it is a big old distraction by the media. What hurts me more is that I have a media, instead of telling me what one candidate is doing and saying and telling me what the other candidate is doing and saying, we have a media that's trying to choose a president for the United States, and that's not their job. And so as an American, it hurts me, and it's made me lose a lot of faith in our media. You know, I expect our media to be neutral, report the facts, and let us come to our own conclusion. But on the issues, as far as jobs, we know that Hillary Clinton has not created any private sector jobs in her life. As far as tough on immigration, we know that she's for open borders. I read WikiLeaks.
Yep.
Open borders and open trade is what she said. We know that she lost $6 billion of our money for the Secretary of State, where they're like, oh, Donald Trump lost $965 million. Well, that was his money.
Right.
She lost $6 billion of our money. We know that our inner cities are dying. They're struggling. Our fellow Americans are out there without jobs, without future, without hope, while illegal aliens and refugees are coming in here and living great. And so we have to look at that $113 billion we're spending on illegal aliens every year. That's not going to our veterans or our military or to our inner cities, but to people who are not even supposed to be here. So when you get out of your emotions, see, I had to get out of my emotions and start looking at my country and my fellow Americans and seeing their suffering and seeing their problems. And so when I go and vote on November 8th, I'm not going to vote for what he said. I'm going to vote for the things that she has not done. If she had a record of helping women, of helping the inner city, of helping our country, and not selling us over to Libya, from what I'm understanding with these arms deals to Libya, if she had a record of doing what was right for the American people, she wouldn't even have to mention Donald Trump's name. The mainstream media would not have to be all down over him, because they would be telling us about her record and how she's going to make America greater or better. And they don't have that narrative. And so all it is hate Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump, hate Donald Trump. I am disappointed in what he said. I didn't like it. I'm a woman. I have a daughter. But also, too, guess what? I don't want 550,000 Syrian woman-hating refugees in my country either. You understand what I'm saying?
Totally,
so it's like
listen,
the
I
logic.
get it. I'm only going to correct you on one thing. She didn't lose $6 billion. She quote unquote misplaced $6 billion was the term that they used.
Okay, well, you misplaced it.
So,
okay, go find it for me. We need our $6 billion.
So I would like for you to quickly, if you could, give some background into how you came to be where you are. You were running for lieutenant governor against an incumbent Democrat as a lifelong Democrat.
Yes.
Tell that story.
Oh, wow. We decided that we didn't like what was going on in our state, the hopelessness in the inner cities and East St. Louis. And so T.O. Hardeman called me and was like, hey, I want you to be my lieutenant governor candidate. And I thought about all the ways that we could help the state and help the people, and I joined on. And let me tell you, I know all about how the media will block you out, try to treat you like you're nobody, try to always support and uplift failure. And so that was what happened to us. We got blacked out. We got beaten down, by our own fellow Democrats. And so I learned a great lesson when you are not that, in that establishment. Like Donald Trump is an outsider. The Republican and Democrat establishment don't want him. Why? Because business as usual will not be going on as of January 21st, 2017, when Donald J. Trump is the president. They are concerned about their own interests. And so when you hear people saying, oh, this is the worst thing he could have said, this is the worst thing. No, it's not the worst thing, because they're words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. The sticks and stones that hurt me, Benghazi. The sticks and stones that hurt me, classified emails from that server that was deleted. Sticks and stones that hurt me, you hurt Haiti. You mistreated those people, robbed them. Sticks and stones that hurt me, my $6 billion of taxpayer money misplaced. The sticks and stones that hurt me, we can go on and on. The words, I can't justify those words.
Right.
But what I can tell you, the American blood, he doesn't have that on his hand.
Yeah, well, that's a great point. So now, what your job now as vice chair of the diversity outreach for the Trump campaign is to do exactly what?
Basically, outreach to women, minorities, all Americans, just to tell everybody about the issues and what this candidate has to offer. And what I would say to anybody that's going to vote on November 8th, take off your emotional hat, put on your American hat, think about jobs for our inner cities and for our poorest communities. Think about that wall that we need to build. I don't want to be the person that gets the phone call that my loved one has been murdered because some Syrian refugee or some illegal alien who shouldn't be here has murdered my family member. I don't want to be Kate Steinle's family member. I don't want to be going through what they went through. Prevention is always better than cure. When you're going into that booth on November 8th, you think about school choice for our children. You think about NAFTA trade deals where we are getting the short end of the stick. When you think about, just all of those things, when you think about how our borders are open and we're not safe, when you think about ISIS wanting to kill Americans, they're not saying black, white, purple, they're saying Americans. And so when we go into that voting booth on November 8th to support this candidate, we may not agree with everything he says. Neither one of these candidates are perfect. But when it comes to the issues, there is no other choice. It is logical. It makes perfect sense that Donald J. Trump will go in, the candidate who says America first. America first. We have got to be selfish with our country. We have got to get selfish. America first.
I'm talking with Brunell Donald-Kyei, Vice Chair Diversity Outreach for the Trump campaign. I heard you on the radio the other day. I think your story is absolutely fascinating. You are well. It is, because I want to debate people that are Democrats, that are liberal on topics and issues. But you have to be informed and you have to care, and you clearly are both of those things.
You have to care. You do. I'm a Democrat. I am a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat. Voted Democrat, for Barack Obama. Believed in hope and change that didn't come from my party. And I will say this: the Democratic Party They're not asking Hillary Clinton to step down with all these damaging WikiLeaks emails. They're not asking her to step down with the Benghazi and our $6 billion misplaced. They're not asking her to step down with all these women coming forward saying that she was an enabler of her husband being a sexual predator. They're not asking her to step down. Why? The Democratic Party that I love, that I voted for, will put a monkey up, decorate it, vote for it, put it before the American people, and make it the sweetest cream pie. You'll go on January 20th of 2017, shake the hand of that monkey, thinking that it was a human being all along. The Republican Party's nominee is not perfect, but he is the candidate who was saying he will put America first. And we Americans have to be selfish with our country. When people come here and blow it up and destroy our land and decimate it and destroy our finances here, Americans have nowhere else to go. But the refugees and the illegal aliens, they got another country to go to. We have got to take care of our country on November 8th. Go and vote for Donald J. Trump. He is the America First candidate. Don't vote emotionally. Vote thinking about your fellow Americans. We are all depending on you to make the decision to put us first. And I don't believe that this race is over by any long shot. We got till November 8th. We got 30 days, 29 days left, and that's more than enough time to take care of the business as far as the American people are concerned.
Brunell, this is Dean Prentice speaking, and I got to tell you, I'm going to get away from Donald Trump for a minute. When are you running for an office? Because I love the passion. I love the way you attack the issues.
You know what? I've never been a person who had any desire to run for office, but I do have a desire to go in with this administration to help our country and to help our country heal. You got to remember, there's a lot of race divisions right now. Whites against blacks, blacks against Hispanics, Americans against Americans. But what we have to do is team up as Americans against these refugees and illegal aliens. We are fighting each other. You know, the Bible says a house divided against itself will fall. We cannot, as Americans, be divided on the issue of our $113 billion going to illegal aliens. We cannot be divided on the issue of refugees coming in from countries where women are beheaded and hated and then stabbing our American citizens. And we cannot be divided on the issue of borders being protected, our children, our grandchildren. What Donald Trump is going to build down there in Mexico is going to protect generations for generations and protect our country. We cannot afford as Americans to sell our Constitution that has worked for us over 200 years over to globalism, international law. The devil is a liar. I am an American. I'm going to stand up tall. I'm going to fight. I'm going to war. I'm going to do everything that I can to help Donald Trump win that election, because we need to clean out Washington, D.C. All those old people down there, been there 40 and 70 years doing absolutely nothing. I don't disrespect the elderly, but what have you done for the people? Nothing. We have got to get fresh, new, young faces down in Washington. We have got to break up this establishment that are trying to control the 99% of us when it's only 1% of them. And so I'm not going to run. I have no interest in running for office. I've run before. I loved it. But I just want to help my country. And I'm praying that I will be a part of that administration that goes into the White House with Donald J. Trump, and I will be in his ear making sure that he keeps his promise to the people, because the people are going to put him in office. Mark my words. November 8th, Donald Trump is going to be the next president-elect.
Brunell, Donald-Kyei, Vice Chair, Diversity Outreach for the Trump campaign. I cannot thank you enough. I absolutely, your blood pressure and mine are both probably the exact same numbers.
Yes.
I'm feeling you.
Yes, it is.
God bless you. You stay safe and keep going out and doing the work you're doing, hon. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. 844-900-3838, KurtSchillingShow.com. I'm Kurt Schilling.
Yeah. Make America great again. Make America great again. Make America great again.